Hey guys, so we just looked at distance time graphs for constant speed objects. Now we're going to look at objects that are accelerating, meaning they are speeding up or slowing down. They're not moving at a constant speed, okay? So one thing we emphasized was that constant speed means you have these like straight lines on the graph, but acceleration, make a note, didn't really give myself room for this, maybe I'll write it down here, is that acceleration is going to be curved lines. Okay, all the graphs that are accelerating, make a note that they're all curved lines. Okay, so let's start with going forward, and you need to know four different examples here. You can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 graphs that we're going to draw. So there are different combinations of direction, either forward or backwards, and whether you're speeding up or slowing down. Okay, so in this table, we're just going to fill in forward or backwards, speeding up or slowing down, and then draw the graph that represents that. Okay, so let's start with forwards, and we'll start with speeding up, a case we all should do pretty well with. Forward means that the distance is increasing like that. Because you're speeding up, it's getting steeper as it goes. So it starts off kind of flat, and speeding up means it curves upwards and gets steeper just like that, all right? Now, let's contrast that against going forward but not speeding up. Our next example will be slowing down when you're going forwards. So you're going to start off going fast, which means it'll be pretty steep in the beginning. It's still going upwards for distance because you're going forward. Very steep in the beginning, but you slow down. So this one curves to kind of flatten out instead of get steeper. All right, so that's forward, slowing down. All right. Our next two examples will be moving backwards. All right. Our first one will be backwards, but getting faster, speeding up. All right, so when you move backwards, remember the distance is decreasing like this. So for both of these examples, the distance is going down, but they're going to be curved a little differently. When you're speeding up, you start off very slow. In fact, you start off kind of stopped here. And when you're speeding up, it means you get steeper and steeper and steeper as time goes on. So it ends up curving like that. It's very steep at the end because that's where you're going the fastest because you're speeding up, okay? And it's slow in the beginning, okay? Our last example will be backwards. These two tend to be the hardest for people. It starts off slow, very flat in the beginning, and very steep at the end. That means speeding up. But what if there's backwards slowing down? Well, in that case, we're going to start very fast going downwards. So very steep at the beginning. But we're going to show you getting slower and slower as time goes on. So instead of getting steeper, it tends to flatten out over time, okay? So at the end, it's very flat, which means it's very slow at the end, okay? So you start off very steep and finish off very flat, very slow at the end, okay? So this one is getting faster and going backwards. They're both going downwards, but this one gets steeper, which means it's getting faster. This one flattens out, which means you're getting slower. So if you kind of look at all these shapes, you have these two which are going forwards, one's getting steeper, one's getting flatter, and then you have these two at the bottom which are going backwards. This one's getting steeper, this one's getting flatter. But anytime you see something speeding up or slowing down, meaning it's accelerating, it has to be one of these four shapes. These four shapes are your key. Don't draw anything that's not one of these four shapes on worksheets when you have to show somebody accelerating.